Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review of my Brand Man offset smoker. So if you want to see this review and see what I think about the smoker, just stick with us and we'll get right to the video. So back a few months ago, I was in the market for a small offset smoker. So I wanted something that was kind of compact, not nothing real big, something I can move around real easily, and also something that I could store here on my grilling deck. So, you know, when you look for an offset smoker, a small offset smoker, you're kind of limited as far as what you can find. Start off trying to find something on Facebook Marketplace, but everything I find was just rusted out, old, wore out, and they wanted a pretty big price for them too. So I didn't want something like that. I wanted something nice, something that looked good, something that would complement my grilling area. So I went to looking for new offset smokers, and of course I looked at the Oklahoma Joe smokers, and you know, they just look traditional top smoker, which they got pretty decent reviews, and I guess they're okay smoker for what they are. But you know, I kept searching because I really wasn't satisfied with the look of the traditional Oklahoma Joe offset smoker. So I stumbled up on this Brand Man offset smoker off of Walmart.com. And I really, to start with, the first thing that I liked about it was the look. It was very streamlined, not very traditional, had tapered sides, and I just liked the way it looked. So I went to checking it out, and this was around Christmas time, and they was running a Black Friday sale, typically sold for like $4.99, and they had $100 savings on that thing. So I got this thing for $3.99. So I've been using it for a while. I posted a few cooks, and the longest cook that I've posted so far was ribs. So I wanted to get used to the smoker, learn how to operate it before I really did a review on it or posted too many videos on it. So I'm getting comfortable now using the grill, and I think it's time for me to do a review of it. So I'll begin with the literature that's on their website. I checked today, their price is $5.27. Okay, we're going to start off by looking at the grill itself, and I'm going to point out some features that I like about it. Notice that it's very compact and it fit right where I wanted to put it. I got room for a prep table right there, so that worked out good. I bought me a fireproof mat to go under it. So let's get a little closer to this grill and we're going to take a look at it. So first, notice that it has a real good finish. Now I did several cooks on it and the paint hadn't really peeled off of it yet, except for the firebox. I got little spots on the firebox, but as far as the paint just really peeling off of it and it rusting, I don't have any of that yet. It may happen the more I use it, but right now it's fine. So you notice it's got these real nice stands to hold your lid open good. Has a nice size smokestack. It's not very tall. One thing I didn't really like initially was the fact that it's got this screw type adjustment in here, and I was thinking about something that you could close completely off, but really I figured out, see how I have that set, I figured out that that's a good setting, and I don't touch that. I just control the damper or the vents on the firebox to control the temperature. So speaking of temperature, really depends on the size fire you build in there to start with. So we're going to get into that a little bit later in the video as we get started. And I like the way this thing looks. It's got these curved sides and the firebox matches. And I really like that. It's unique and it looks good. So we got this real heavy duty handle here, and it's real easy to move around because it has these large steel wheels, and I like that. So this thing is built really well. I really don't like this flimsy little shelf on the bottom that much, but I'm not going to stack a lot of wood and stuff on it anyway. It has a drill pan that I really like that, and it works really well. All the grease goes to the bottom and it'll run down and collect in that bucket, and I really like that. So it has this removable shelf right here. It's not a very big shelf, but it's very useful. It's got a nice big temperature gauge. I like these stainless looking handles, and the firebox is nice, made out of heavy stuff. And here's your damper control. You just close and open. So that works very well. So that's the outside of the grill. Let's look in the firebox. So here's the firebox, and you notice it has this deflector panel here. It's got these holes in it that protects the ashes from coming through the vents and whatever. Has these grills to put your fire on, set your fire on. That so you've got air that comes up under it and fuels your fire. It also has some grates that fit right here on these that you can put on there, and you can actually grill in this box if you want to. I haven't yet, but that's an option that you can do. So far I like it. So like I said earlier, you got to be careful what size fire you burn in it to, keep the heat at a certain range. And again, we'll get into that a little later in the video. So here's the grill itself. Good size grill. You can put a lot of food on it, and it also has a grate that fits on top, so you have two levels. And you notice I got my Weber charcoal baskets in here, because one way you can use this thing is two-zone cooking. You put your charcoal right here, and you got a cool zone here, and you got all this area for a cool zone right here, and that works out really well. And rather than just piling the charcoal up on the grills, I put my Weber grill baskets or charcoal baskets in there, and that holds the charcoal really neat. So I've learned that if you want to cook something like at 350 degrees and have a cooler zone over here about hotter zone here, but the overall temperature of the grill is about 350 to 375. That's what I like to cook chicken at. So I've cooked chicken on this thing several times like this, and it works out really well. Put your chicken over here, and of course you got your fire here, but the air comes through and over your chicken and not the chimney there. So it incorporates the smoke on your chicken. You can cook it indirect, and if you want to sear your chicken or get a little more color to it once the chicken gets done, you can put it over the hot coals, and you can do that with a steak too. And so I like the option that you can cook with it this way too. But when I use it as a traditional offset smoker, I just remove those baskets. Of course, you got your fire in your firebox, and all the heat comes, smoke and heat comes over your food here and out your chimney. So it's a very neat grill. It's holding up very well for what I've used it for. So I like it. Okay, let's talk about fire management now. I had to tinker with it a while till I figured out how to manage the fire according to what temperature you want. And if you want to cook around 250 to 275, somewhere in that range, don't do what's in the photo here. I use too big of a split, but how I like to start the fire is I use lump charcoal in my chimney, a chimney full of it, and I pour it in the firebox to give me a coal bed. So I put this big log on here, and it took it a long time to burn up, and it produced too much heat. I couldn't regulate it too well, and by the time the log burned up to use for good coals, the other coal bed had gone out. So the best thing to do is to use smaller splits. And what I found works more effective than even smaller splits is to use the chunks of wood. So this is what I've learned that works best for me. You see, I got a chimney full of lump charcoal. It's all lit and ready to pour in the firebox. So I just take it and pour it in the firebox. And then I put some smaller splits. Notice how much smaller this split I'm going to put in is compared to the one that was in the photo. So what the smaller split will do, it will burn up faster and create you a good hot coal bed before you start your cook process. When you get ready to cook, then I usually start adding the smaller chunks. Okay, here you see that the original split that I put on is burned down pretty good, and we got a really good charcoal bed. And notice that I put these smaller chunks of wood on the fire now, and I manage the fire using the smaller chunks, and sometimes I'll add a little more of the lump charcoal if I need to. So by managing the fire this way, I want to show you how well this thing holds temperature. So by using the smaller chunks of wood and adding some more lump charcoal from time to time as I need it, I maintain a good charcoal bed. I get a good open fire flame that really adds flavor to the food. So you can really see by this graph just how steady this thing holds temperature. So this is how I recommend using it, and it took me a little learning curve, but I've got it down pretty good now that I can maintain the steady low and slow temperature. I like to cook my low and slow at 250, and notice that this graph has been holding that way for quite a while. And what you do when you see first sign of that temperature to start dropping just a little bit, then you just check your fire, make sure you got a hot coal bed, and add several more of those chunks of wood. Now the only downside to cooking on a smaller offset like this, and all the smaller offsets are like this, you just have to really baby the fire, attend to it. It's not like a big 500, 250 gallon or 500 gallon offset smoker where you can build a big fire in it, and it's easier to maintain the fire in those bigger grills, offset smokers. But on the smaller ones, you just have to babysit it and just manage the temperature by the size of fire you make. So this is how I do it. So to me, that's part of the experience of smoking, is being out there with the grill, playing with the fire, tending with it. So I enjoy this smoker, and I like it now that I've learned how to manage the fire and the temperature, and it turns out some really good food. So I'm going to give you some of my final thoughts here as we close. So there you go, folks. There's my review of the Brand Man offset smoker that I purchased from Walmart.com. I think Amazon carries them too, but they're about the same price either way you buy them. Like I said, I got a Black Friday deal on this, and I got $100 off, and I'm very pleased with the purchase as far as the monetary value of it is. I think it's worth every penny that I paid for it. The longer I use it, the happier I am with the grill, and so I like the grill, and I'm going to keep it. It turns out good food, and you can cook on it different ways. I like that feature, and it fits perfectly in the area that I wanted to use it at, and it's made out of relatively heavy material, and it's got a good finish on it. So I'm very happy with my purchase, and I would recommend this grill for someone that's looking for just a small offset smoker. It has a learning curve on how to use it, but once you learn how to use it, it's a good little smoker, and I'm happy with my purchase. So I hope you got some value out of this content. I'd like to say God bless each and every one of you. So until next time, keep on smoking. I'll see you later.